Yes, dear students, in the previous class we have seen that Sir C V Raman was appointed as a Deputy Accountant General, but still then he was not happy with that post because he was very much interested in the science and he wanted to become a scientist. So for that sake, he was even ready to resign that post. So in the year 1911, Raman was appointed as a Special Accountant General for the Post and Telegraphs in Calcutta. So in 1911, Raman was appointed as a Special Accountant General for the Post and Telegraphs in Calcutta. But when he was offered the post of professor at Calcutta University, he jumped at that offer and accepted the post gladly. So he was offered a post of professor at Calcutta. So when he was offered for the post of professor at Calcutta, then he jumped up and accepted it easily. After working at Calcutta University for 15 years, he became the director of Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. So there he worked as a professor for 15 years. He worked at Calcutta University for 15 years. Then he worked as a professor at Calcutta University for 15 years, and then he became the director of Indian Institute of Science. Indian Institute of Science. He became the director of Indian Institute of Science. It means that in Kannada, Bharatiya Vignana Samsthe. ಭಾರತೀಯ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸಿದರು. Then he became the director of Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. The Raman Research Institute was started in 1948. Raman Institute. He started his own institution, that is Raman Institute. So he established the Raman Institute. Raman Institute was started in the year 1948. He established his own institution, that is Raman Institute, in the year 1948. Raman resigned the post of Indian Institute of Science and became the director of the Research Institute. So he resigned this post of the director of Indian Institute of Science, and now he became the director of Research Institute. Here he conducted his research in physics until his death. So now he was free and he can conduct the researches at any time whenever he needed. So he conducted all his researches up to his death. Then Raman was a great scientist. Throughout his life, he was intensely attached to the science. He was a great scientist and he dedicated his whole soul for the science. For the sake of science, he gave up the highly paid post of Special Accountant General and accepted a professor at Calcutta University. Then he would often forget all the food and rest while he was at work, and his wife had to often tell him that his breakfast or coffee was getting cold. So he gave up resignation for the Indian Institute of Science and he became the director of Research Institute, and now he was very free to conduct his experiments and he was deeply interested in the science. Then he used to conduct experiments in that Research Institute and he was deeply interested in the science. Then he would forget all the food and rest while he was at work. While he was working, he never thought about the food and the rest. Then often his wife had to tell him that his coffee or breakfast was getting cold. It means that he was very much interested in the time, and he did not even spend a single minute. So he dedicated all the time in the research work. Like all other scientists, Raman had a lot of curiosity. Yes, he had got a lot of curiosity. Earlier in his life, while on a voyage to Europe, he saw the wonderful blue of Mediterranean Sea. This led to his work on the laws of light scattering in liquids, and it ended in the discovery of Raman effect. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for this in the year 1930. So, once again, while he was traveling in the Mediterranean Sea, then he was astonished why this color of the ocean is blue. So, this led him to the work on the laws of scattering light. Then he studied laws of scattering light, laws of scattering light, scattering light in liquids. See, when the ray of light it passes from the air media to the water media, then it gets scattered. That is called as scattering of light in liquids. So while Raman was on the voyage to European countries, while traveling in the sea, he looked over the ocean. Then a thought came to his mind: why this ocean is blue in color? What makes the ocean look blue in color? So this led him to the study of scattering of light in the liquids, laws of scattering of light in the liquids. Then he studied, and that study ended in the discovery of Raman effect, and for that he was awarded the Nobel Prize. For that he was awarded the Nobel Prize in the year 1930. So what happens here? The white light, that is the sunlight, when it enters the salt water, it gets scattered. So it absorbs all the colors except blue. So the water of the ocean looks blue, and that was discovered by the Raman. Then Raman was a kind man. So now we can see the humanity in Raman. Raman was a kind man. He helped the people when they were in difficulty. Yes, Raman was a very good-hearted man. He helped the people in their difficulties. When he was working as a deputy accountant general, a villager went to him with some badly burnt 100 rupees note. So when he was working as a deputy accountant general, a villager who was very poor, then he came to Raman with a burnt 100 rupees note. Burnt 100 rupee note. 100 rupees notes. So he came with the burnt 100 rupee notes. Then, seeing that, he exchanged for the new one. Any other person perhaps would have turned the villager away. So, suppose if he is another person in his place, then they would have turned away, saying that these all notes are burned away and they are not accepted. But Raman, he did not do like that. He accepted the burnt notes and gave him the fresh notes. But Raman took pity on the villager, examined the notes carefully, and allowed him, the villager, to extend the burnt notes for the new ones. Once the Raman Research Institute, a candidate was not given admission as he did not do well in his test. So, by the two incidents, we come to know that Raman was a kind man. First example is that the villager, he came with the burnt notes, and Raman gave him the new notes. This shows that Raman was a kind man. And another incident is that once the Raman Institute, a candidate was not given the admission as he did not do well in the test. So, an interview was called for the assistant in the Raman institution, and a candidate who had come there, he had received the allowance, that is more. He found that candidate found that he had received more. Then he did not do well in the test, so he was not given any post. When he returned to the, when he came to know that his traveling allowance was paid more than he had received more, he returned to the office to pay back the excess amount. Yes, he returned to the office to pay the excess amount. When Raman came to know of this, that is his obedience, his sincerity, he liked the candidate's honesty and admitted to the institute. Though he did not do well in the test, but still, because of his honesty, his sincere, he was appointed as an assistant by the Raman. The candidate was not able to make out why he was admitted, but the candidate, he could not understand why he was appointed, though he had not passed the test. Then, when he had not done well in the test, then it seems Raman told the candidate, I have admitted you to the institute because of your character. Then Raman says that I have given you the assistant post because of your honesty. You are not very good at physics, but I can teach you. Raman said that you don't worry, you don't know about the physics, but still then I will help you, I will teach you the physics. So by this incident we come to know that Raman was a kind man. Then during his lifetime, Raman received a number of honors and medals. Yes, he received a number of prizes, a number of honors and also the medals. In the year 1929, he was knighted by the King George V and became Sir C V Raman. Yes, in the year 1929, King George V, Raman was knighted by him and he gave him the title Sir. So Sir is the title given by the British government for the achievement of Sir C V Raman. A number of universities honored him with doctorates. Yes, he received a number of doctorates. He became a member of many international scientific organizations. Yes, he became the member of international organizations. In 1954, the government of India awarded him Bharat Ratna. 1954, he was awarded Bharat Ratna. Bharat Ratna. He was awarded the Bharat Ratna award in 1957. Also in the year 1957, Soviet Union honored him by awarding the International Lenin Prize. 1957, the government of Russia, it awarded the honor Soviet International Award. Soviet International Award in 1957 he was awarded the International Lenin. This was the prize given by the Soviet Russia. It honored him. Then Raman died on November 21, 1970 at the age of 82. Yes, at the age of 82, he died on November 21, 1970. His death, India lost one of the great sons, the world a great scientist. So, by his death, India lost one of the greatest sons and also a great scientist. So, we lost him in the year 1970. So, these are all the contributions of Sir C V Raman to the field of science. The scattering of light, the effect of light rays. Even till today, we eagerly study these discoveries made by the Sir C V Raman. So students, I hope that you all understood the lesson, and if you have any doubts, you can please post a message. Okay, thank you very much.